Okay, I was actually asked what a typical workout day would look like, and I just wanted to show the process from warming up to getting into my, I guess, my goal grippers for the day. And I'm starting to get up there in age. I'm about to turn 40 in December, so I'm getting to where I get aches and pains and, all the good stuff that comes with getting older. But my workout or my warm ups actually take typically maybe just a little bit longer because, you know, with me being older, I've got like creaks and, you know, not necessarily joint pain, but it just takes a while for my hands to warm up. But I typically actually make my own chalk that I just put in a generic sports bottle. This is like an old dry hands bottle that I used a long time ago that I just reuse it to put liquid chalk in. So typically you want 70% alcohol mixed with just either regular block chalk, or I like to get the fine powdered stuff, to be honest. It seems like it works a whole lot better for me. And you can probably, uh, I like to do, I'd say, a 2 to 1 ratio, two being the alcohol and one being the chalk. So just keep doing that until you fill your bottle up, and you can always refill it, and it will save a boatload of change. Trust me. You don't need to be buying expensive chalk online unless you have to. I know there's certain things that are worth buying online, but honestly, this is about the easiest way to make chalk and about the easiest way to save money. So, but you can actually use whatever chalk you want though. I just prefer the liquid chalk because it gets into the grooves of my skin a little bit better, and it doesn't fly all over the room and make a huge gigantic mess, which my family will end up complaining about. So all right. Anyway, I just typically just put like a little bit on my hands to start with. And you can see it's already drying on my hands. This is another reason why I like to make the chalk myself, is because typically it seems like if I make it myself, it dries a whole lot quicker. I don't know if that's because of the 70% alcohol, but it seems like it doesn't take very long, because I've used commercial liquid chalk, and a lot of it just really sucks, to be honest. And first of all, typically warm up with a trainer, or the equivalent of a trainer, and I try to get about maybe 20 reps, just to get my hands warm, because right now my hands are cold. So you want to prevent pulling something. Not to say that you will. There's a lot of people that go in cold and they do just fine, but like I said, I'm older and my hands are more beat up, so I'm typically going to do about 20 reps probably with each hand with a trainer before I even start the exercises. I can find it here. Okay, let's see. I've just got everything in a big pile here because I do it every day, so it pretty much stays in the same place. And I don't know, this is like a personal preference, but I usually start with my left hand first. It doesn't really matter which one, I don't think. Okay, so my hands feel pretty good right now. I had like a little bit of some creaking in my index finger, but usually that goes away after about maybe the third or fourth warm-up set. Okay, and I typically move on to a 1 after that. I don't really do any more than like 5 reps because it starts to sap into my energy reserves after that. So usually about 5 is good enough, and then I'll move up to like some crushes after that. Okay, I guess I can keep the camera going through this next little bit because I usually try to run through it pretty quick. But anyway, I usually jump up to my filed grippers, and here's a 1.5 that's filed, and I just start doing crushes with those. And with all my warm-ups, I'll typically maybe rest like 60 seconds to a minute or 2 minutes, maybe. It just depends on how I'm feeling that day. But I like, if I feel pretty good, which I actually am today, I'll just take like 60-second breaks in between a set. Maybe not even that much, you know, because I'm just trying to warm my hands up. My hands are just now getting to where they feel pretty good, so I typically just run through them really quick and get them over with as quick as I can. Okay, we're up to a semi-filed 2. Okay, now I'm gonna jump up to a file 2.5, and like I said, I'm just gonna rest for a second or two. when I get into my goal grippers, or you know, my ladder warm-up grippers, I usually rest maybe a little bit longer, probably like 3 minutes. So I'll probably just cut the tape then, and you know, split that into pieces, because I know you don't want to sit here and just watch me rest. Okay, here we go with the FALD 2.5. Okay. I'll rest another couple of minutes, or just 60 seconds. Not quite to the point to where I need several minutes yet. Okay, I'll probably jump up to week 2.5 right now. Then after that, I want to make a fairly big jump, so I'll probably go up to I guess a fairly heavy 2.5, like around 130 or so. And usually that's when I start taking my longer breaks. So here's a 118 right here, the 2.5. Okay. Let's find the 130. There it is. Okay. It's a bad thing about working with a lot of grippers is you got a big pile of them just laying over in the corner, and you have to dig through them. Okay. Gonna rest for a second here. I guess like a minute, and then I'm gonna hit the 130. Oh, and another thing, sometimes your hands get really slick. I know with the first coat of chalk, sometimes I need a second coat, so I'll actually go and I'll wash that off, and usually it's got my hands dried out enough to where they're not oily and slick, so I'll put like a second coat of chalk on after that. And because I know the more you let them pop out of your hands, the more it just knocks the chalk straight off of your hands. So usually after several sets, I'll replace the chalk on my hands. Okay, that's plenty enough time. Yeah, see, it's starting to get slick. Okay. Now I'm gonna start with the 3-minute breaks. So I'm probably gonna cut the video around this point and make jumps from there. Okay, here's where I typically start to pick out my goal grippers for the day. I know I'm working with fatter handled grippers, so I try to choose the next two warm-ups, which are my last two. That will be the last two before I start messing with the goal grippers. So since I'm going to be messing with fatter handled stuff, probably going to warm up with on the last two with a standard gripper, the iron. It's rated at 132. I know that's not a big jump because the COC 2.5 was 30. Well, I mean 130. So I'll probably do 132 and 139 as the next two warm-ups, because I know the handles are just a little bit bigger on those, and that's an easier transition over to the big fat handled Robert Bear bands, which are extra sharp and are probably going to tear my hands to pieces today. But anyway, I guess I'll go ahead and start with the 132. Now this is an adjustable gripper, which well, this isn't the 132. This one is. Okay. This is the 132 adjustable. You can actually adjust it all the way down, but the 132 rating actually is at the top. That's flush with, you know, just as far as the handles will go up the side. So, but anyway, this is 132, and then I start making actually smaller jumps from here, because as you get closer to your goal gripper, you don't want to be jumping like 10-20 pounds, because then you're just not going to be able to do it. So it's pretty much just self judgment from this point. You just need to decide, like with your routine, how big of jumps that you think that you can actually tolerate. I try to do around 5-pound jumps. I know I do 6 if I don't have a 5-pound available, but anywhere between maybe like 4 pounds and 6 pounds is okay with me. It typically works. But anyway, let me go ahead and get this started, I guess. Oh, 132. I know this is confusing, but typically around this point, when I'm about to hit 140 or get in the 140 range, I'll start with my dominant hand, and then since my non-dominant hand is just a little bit weaker, I'll maybe stick with like a lower RGC number for the left. But I don't know, some days I'm stronger on the left and some days I'm not. It just depends, but most days my dominant hand's going to be a whole lot stronger. And plus I need all the energy that I can expend on you know, trying to make the close. So after my 3-minute break, then I just go straight to my dominant hand. this is where I start actually trying to maybe hold it for a couple of seconds, because you really want to get your neural firing going, especially to prepare yourself for, you know, the heavier grippers in your goal gripper for the day. Oh, maybe I can get this lefty. I don't know if I can today. Oh, I think I did. Not really sure if I did or not. I think I felt the touch. Okay, that's 139. Okay, now we're up to the Skin Destroyers, which is the RB 260, and that's what I've been working with lately. I'm trying to get up to, my goal is actually to get up to 159 RGC, but right now I'm just trying to use some holds so I can get used to being in the 140 range again, and like to get up to doing holds in the latter 140 range, so that will, you know, prepare me for the 330N, which is it's a little bit more narrow than these are, but the 330N, it's got this huge gigantic spring that's ridiculous on it, so they are very hard, and so I definitely need to prepare my hands to get to that point, because I don't know if I've mentioned anything about this. I think 162 is about the highest I've ever closed on a gripper, and I'd really like to surpass that by the end of the year. So anyway, I'm gonna, I guess, shut up and try to close this thing. That was definitely a close, and like I said before, I'm trying to hold it for at least a couple of seconds just so I can get the you know, get the benefit of that, you know, because that's where you develop your power from, is crushing and using like fouled grippers, because the most difficult part of a close, I know a lot of people argue and say, oh, but you're using your other hand to close it. It doesn't have anything to do with that. The most difficult part of the close is actually the last few millimeters that are in between the handles. I've seen a lot of people, you know, TNS things, but they can't get it closed. That's the problem, is, you know, they're not actually closing the gripper fully, because the way these things are rated, this is the poundage at the very last little bit. That's when the handles are actually touching each other. So I know there's a bunch of trolls that like to joke about this stuff, and but you know, just so they don't spread misinformation, I just want to let you guys know that the last little bit of the close is really the most important part. And if you check out Jed Johnson's channel, he even talks about this. But from parallel to close is actually the hardest part of the gripper close. So you really, if you're going to program your routine in a certain way, that's why you see people like Nick Jenkins and other channels like that doing block sets with 20 millimeters, is because that's probably about as far as you actually need the gripper to open, because you're going to be cheating yourself if you take the power out of it, and you build power by working it in the last little bit. So you kind of just want to open it maybe this far and then close it again. Open it this far, close it again. So I hope that it explains things like why I do things the way I do, and maybe some people that have never picked up a gripper. I hope this helps them to understand why people aren't doing full reps during practice. Um, you can actually get benefits of doing full reps in practice, like if you're a newbie and you've just started gripping, but eventually your hand's going to adapt and you're going to stop getting really those significant gains. Um, this is my opinion and also other people's opinions that have closed gigantic grippers. So I know I'm nowhere close to closing gigantic grippers, but it seems like it's working for me, and I take the advice from people above me that have closed gigantic grippers. So I'm just trying to send this advice along so other people can learn from it. Okay, I'm gonna attempt 148 today. If I get this, then typically, if I can close a gripper, I'll try to get 6 singles with it, which means I'll just rest 3 minutes. I'll do another single, rest another 3 minutes, do another single until I can get all 6 of them. Now, I might miss some of them, so I typically want to go for I try to get like 5 out of the 6 singles closed before I try to move up in weight. So if I can get 5 out of the 6, then typically I'll move up to the next one, which will be the 152 330 in. But I don't know if I'll get them all today, since I did this yesterday, but things have felt pretty good so far, so I guess I'm gonna go for it. And that was actually a pretty good long hold. Well, it wasn't very long, but it was long enough to. And that's 148 RGC 260. RB 260. Well, I hope that answered any questions that anybody had about my workout, and how I program my grippers, and what I do usually for warm-ups and everything. So thanks for listening, and hope your training goes well. See ya.